It's 8:30. Good morning. I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. The Hunter has missed out on the major infrastructure spending announced in the federal budget. Key road and rail projects in the region have been ignored. However, the Williamtown RAF base is receiving around $2 billion in defence spending, with most of the cash going towards the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter project and air combat facilities. Hunter MP Joel Fitzgibbon says it was a largely disappointing budget for our region.
We wanted some money for the Glendale interchange, the Scone and Musselbrook bypasses, something to give relief to the traffic congestion in Sastock. I linked to the Hunter Expressway, and of course no money at all. So disappointing all around, really.
However, federal member for Lyne David Gillespie says Hunter residents will win plenty out of the budget. Hunter seniors will be able to earn $300 a fortnight before losing pension benefits. There's money to help the elderly remain in their own home as they age, and employers will be entitled to a $10,000 wage subsidy to encourage them to employ seniors who want to work. David Gillespie says Hunter workers will also be better off, with tax cuts of up to $530 a year for people earning up to $90,000.
It's part of a greater tax plan to eventually get rid of the 37 cents in the dollar tax bracket altogether. So someone earning $50,000 similarly would be $530 better off per year. It means that people who are working hard, we are encouraging and rewarding them so that they can keep more of their own money.
End-of-life treatment closer to home could soon be a reality for those requiring palliative care in Maitland. The Volunteers for Palliative Care group have revealed plans to construct a community hospice in the town by 2020. Data from the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare suggests the number of people being hospitalised for palliative care reasons is climbing, with a 19% jump between 2010 and 2015. The volunteers are seeking funding to the tune of $1 million to get the project off the ground, and project coordinator Judith Robinson says a range of sources are being considered.
We're looking at all avenues, I have to say, so that can be private, it can be grants, it can be community. We're going to be addressing all of that at the forum.
Maitland's Liberal councillors are pushing to have more big-name sporting events at the city's revamped sports ground. Deputy Mayor Sally Halliday will be putting a motion at Council's May 22 meeting for the sports ground to host an A-League derby between the Newcastle Jets and the Central Coast Mariners. The motion follows the Jets' big turnaround this season and comes after the sports ground successfully hosted an NRL trial match between the Knights and the Eels. The New South Wales Government has allocated around $200,000 in support of events around the Hunter, celebrating the annual Grandparents and Seniors Day, and local organisations are being urged to apply for funding. Last year in September, grandparents celebrated with a tree planting fun day involving the Westpac Rescue Helicopter with a sausage sizzle, music and dancing. Minister for Ageing Tanya Davies says the government is happy to provide the funds because grandparents can often be taken for granted.
We know that within our community, grandparents and seniors play a really significant role in the lives of families, but also more broadly right across communities, particularly in volunteering and helping out others. And so in order to recognise and to thank them for their service and their contribution.
Sport for our sponsor, PRD Nationwide East Maitland.
Young forwards Luke Yates and Josh King have been named to start for the Newcastle Knights ahead of their clash with Penrith this weekend. The side is set to face a formidable pack when they face the Panthers, with fellow forward Lachlan Fitzgibbon fighting to be fit. Coach Nathan Brown says Jacob Safiti is on standby as an injury replacement.
Lachie Fitz will be playing if he's available, as long as he's fit and available, he'll play. And Jacob's, in the mix is that sort of player 17, 18, but if Jacob doesn't play, he'll play in reserve grade on the weekend.
Edgeworth defender Josh Rose is already enjoying his time at the club after featuring the side's 2-1 win over Maitland last weekend. The 36-year-old has had a career spanning over 400 games, including stints with the Central Coast Mariners and Melbourne City. Rose hadn't tasted a win since November last year and is expected to line up again this weekend with Edgeworth taking on Adamstown. And in the Newcastle Rugby League, West centre James Elias is set to line up again for the Rosellas this weekend after serving a one-game suspension. The centre will look to add more attack to the side, with West only scoring the lone try last week. The side will take on Souths this Saturday. And the winning numbers in Oz Lotto are 41, 45, 27, 31, 29, 9 and 43, and the supplementaries are 16 and 6. 2NURFM News Time, 25 to 9.